Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to the Operation Freedom platform. It's my honor to have back with me someone I consider a very dear friend and someone who is the most outstanding and most knowledgeable nutritional wellness expert in the world, Dr. Peter Glidden. We do this as a series. This is our, I think, 9th or 10th in the series. We have them all available at our Operation Freedom YouTube channel, also available at davejanda.com, also available on OperationFreedomHealth.com. Full disclosure, the products that you can purchase at OperationFreedomHealth.com do support our platform here, our YouTube platform, and the DaveJanda.com platform, and the radio show Operation Freedom. A little background on Peter for those of you who are new to our series. Peter attended Williams College. He then obtained his Bachelor of Science degree in pre-medical studies from the University of Massachusetts. Peter then graduated with a doctoral degree in naturopathic medicine from Bastyr University in Seattle, Washington. Peter is a member of the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians. He is also presently in private practice in naturopathic medicine and has been licensed to practice naturopathic medicine since 1992. In addition to Peter's outstanding clinical skills, and every YouTube that we do, you'll notice some of his patients, actually, former patients, current patients, sing his praises over what he has done to help each and every one of them from a nutritional medicine standpoint, from a naturopathic medicine standpoint. This is drastically different from the big pharma approach. Now, in addition to Peter's outstanding clinical skills, he also is a fantastic author. 2 books that I encourage you to get to be the foundation of your medical library at home, it's what we've done at our home, is the 2 books Peter has written. And they're available on Amazon. Everybody is sick, and I know why. An attempt to cure with holistic medicine. Peter, welcome back to the Operation Freedom platform.
It's always a pleasure, Dave. I appreciate you very much.
So our focus today, Peter, is going to be, are your supplements hurting more than helping you?
It's an interesting thing to talk about, right? And I think, like the fella said, from the proper perspective, everything makes sense. And most people in the world, even those who are smart enough to have heard about vitamins or investigated vitamin therapy or even tried vitamin therapy, have missed this one data point, and it's a very important data point.
And what's that?
And, that's a cultural thing, and it's a function of the medical monopoly that we've been exposed to for the last 107 years. But nonetheless, there are 2 basic camps of medical nutrition intervention. One is the camp that MDs who take weekend courses in vitamin therapy and
if they do that at all.
If they do that at all.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so in that camp espouses the use of vitamins and amino acids and essential fatty acids and nutrients the same way that drugs are used.
Mm-hmm.
And it's referred to as fractionated nutrition. Now, on the other side of the coin, it's what my colleagues and myself bring to the table. It's holistic medical nutrition, and there's a gigantic difference.
There is.
And it's very important that if people are going to entertain a vitamin nutritional supplement program, that they do it holistically. And, honestly, when people think about holism, most people think about, hippies from the 60s running around with Birkenstocks.
Right.
And what even does that mean, right?
Right.
There's a lot of misconception around these terms here, which just makes the whole thing worse. So someone who is espousing fractionated nutrition, like Linus Pauling, for example, will recommend massive amounts of 1 or 2 vitamins. Like Linus Pauling's whole thing was vitamin C. Linus Pauling would, recommend intravenous infusions of grams and grams and grams of vitamin C every day, 2 or 3 times a day. And that has its benefits, but it also has its drawbacks. So, for instance, vitamin C wastes and interferes with the body's absorption of 2 nutrients, selenium and copper. So when you take massive amounts of vitamin C, your body is going to lose copper and it's going to lose selenium. Now, keep in mind that there isn't that much of those things in the body in the first place because they've been eliminated from the food supply by modern agricultural methods. But when you do massive amounts of, in this case, vitamin C, you're going to lose copper and you're going to lose selenium. Now, this is interesting because Linus Pauling, as far as I'm concerned, was a textbook study in copper deficiency. Well, what happens when you have a copper deficiency? Your skin loses its elasticity, your skin becomes very, very thin, and your hair goes bone white. And if you look at pictures of Linus Pauling in the last years of his life, he was, in fact, a textbook
copper deficiency.
As was Albert Einstein, by the way. If you look at pictures of Einstein in his later years, all the muscles, the skin in his face was sagging. That's because of a copper deficiency. Your body needs copper to create the molecule elastin, which keeps stuff elastic in your body. He had spider veins and hemangiomas in his face. He had bone white hair. These are all copper deficient. And he died of an aortic aneurysm. Albert Einstein, the smartest person on planet Earth in his time, died from the effects of a simple, undiagnosed, unrecognized copper deficiency, right? Now, this is a remarkable thing when you look at it because, well, geez, the smartest person in the world didn't know about this. What are the chances of anybody else knowing this? Well,
very true.
Slim to none. So, when we are attempting to support and promote the body's built-in natural ability, God-given ability, I believe, to optimize its structure and function, and we're going to do that with medical nutrition, then it's mandatory. I mean, it's just common sense that we do it holistically. So rather than just give a boatload of vitamin C or B12 or calcium, right, or iron, well, what we do is we give all 90 essential nutrients in a balanced recipe, and that's easy to absorb. And when we approach medical nutrition through a holistic methodology, we get much more remarkable, consistent results than we do when we are trying to force the biochemistry of the body in a particular way with a fractionated nutrition approach. And this is another point to ponder here. This is a very important thing for people to understand. Conventionally trained MDs and, nurses and people in conventional medicine are trained in allopathic medicine, which believes that human beings are smarter than nature, smarter than God. So when an allopathically trained healthcare provider is faced with a disease state like asthma or arthritis, their intervention is to deliver a man-made synthetic pharmaceutical to the body,
True.
The intention of which is to force the body into a particular corner, right? It's kind of a hostile takeover of the biochemistry of the body. And it's oppositionally defiant, which is where all of the medicines got their name: anti-inflammatory, antidepressant, antibiotic, beta blocker, right? Proton pump inhibitor, or the things like serotonin reuptake inhibitor. The intention here is to force the body into a particular avenue, to upregulate or downregulate or mess with the part of the metabolism that the medical provider thinks is appropriate. Now, that strategy is in fact appropriate during surgery, right? When you're trying to slow down the heartbeat and put somebody into a semi-coma so that they don't experience the pain anymore of the surgical procedure, or when you're giving pain meds to a post-surgical patient. That's a good idea. But for general, all-around conventional medical treatment for chronic disease, it's a horrible idea because and this is where holistic medicine, naturopathic medicine, and allopathic medicine are diametrically opposed. Because allopathic medicine argues that the body doesn't have the ability to fix itself. It's a bag of biochemicals waiting to break. And when something does break, it's not the MD's job to cure it, it's the MD's job to manage it, right?
True.
Holistic doctors, naturopathic doctors, are trained to believe that the body is a complex system of interrelated parts that has a built-in self-healing, self-regulating capacity. And so it's our job to develop and deliver therapeutics that support the body's built-in natural God-given ability to fix itself. And when you are trying to do that, when you are intervening on that stage, playing on that stage, it's an entirely different conversation than when you are trying to like force the body into a particular thing. And this is why holistic medical nutrition is effective, because it is consistent and supports the underlying reality of the human experience, which is that we are, spiritual beings having a physical experience, that the body has that remarkable self-regulating mechanism. Our bodies are so smart, they grew themselves all by themselves from a tiny cell into us, all by themselves. And they're managing millions of biochemical processes right now beyond our conscious control. How is all this happening? Well, naturopaths argue it's the wisdom of the body. So our therapeutics support the wisdom of the body. It's a pretty good idea. And when you are supporting the wisdom of the body, you don't try to force it in any particular position. You basically give it what it needs, everything that it needs, in doses that it can actually absorb. Counsel people to stop eating things that's gumming up the works, and then get the heck out of the way and see how far back the body bounces. So when we are attempting to intervene with medical nutrition, it's smart to do it with holistic medical nutrition, and it's really kind of juvenile, quite frankly, to do it with fractionated medical nutrition.
So when you say about the 90 essential nutrients that are needed, some people are now thinking, well, okay, this sounds good, and I want to go the holistic route, but I don't want to have 90 bottles of stuff around me that I take once or twice a day. So Peter, you've discussed this before in a number of our presentations, but it bears repeating because it's really the foundation, the core, the key to holistic well-being, holistic medicine. How do folks get the 90 nutritional elements that they need?
Well, it's easy. So I've been doing this for it'll be 31 years in a couple of weeks, right? Treating patients with naturopathic medical therapeutics in clinical settings. And up until about 10 years ago, I practiced fractionated nutrition. And I got mediocre, sometimes remarkable results, but most of the time it was kind of middle of the road. When I started using holistic medical nutrition, everything changed. I mean, I would see people recover from things that I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think you could do that, right? So that's a kind of a long story short here, is that having had exposure and experience with many different nutritional supplement companies, because I'm a naturopathic doctor and I have access to stuff you can't get over the counter.
You need a prescription, yeah.
Having had experience with all of these different companies, the company that produces the most the most holistically oriented, most effective nutritional supplements is Youngevity, and those products are available at operationfreedomhealth.com, and they're the ones that I recommend almost exclusively now. Now, to get the 90 essential nutrients, man, if you tried to do that, so 60 minerals, right, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids for a grand total of 90. If you went to the health food store or Sam's Club or someplace and tried to cobble all that together, it'd be like $700, man. And you're right, you'd have like 20 different things to take. Who's going to do that? Well, nobody's going to do that.
No, compliance would be a huge issue, right?
So, my colleague, Dr. Joel Wallach, who founded Youngevity based after $25 million of research, the result of which is in the Smithsonian Institution, by the way.
Very true. I mean, the research behind this is incredibly solid.
It's the best kept secret, honestly, in the 21st century, and it's in the Smithsonian. I mean, it's staring people right in the face. So they figured out how to do it. Wallach figured out how to do it. How to get all these 90 nutrients into formulations which didn't separate when they sat on the shelf and which the body actually could absorb. They figured out how to do it. Trial and error. Took them a long time. This wasn't an overnight sensation. So the recommendation here for general, all-purpose, foundation medical nutrition is 1 bottle of Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX, 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals, and 1 bottle of Prohoba Omega if you're an adult. Or you can get 1 Healthy Body Start Pack and 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals. These give you all 90 essential nutrients, and this is our recommendation. And, the proof of the pudding's in the eating here. I know that there's a lot of people on the internet now and doing infomercials about, the latest and greatest nutritional supplement to cure everything. And that's not what this is. This is not, reactionary salesmanship. This is good, old-fashioned, science-based, clinically verified, new-fashioned medical nutrition. And it's based on research and clinical experience. And, it's hard to argue with 30 years of clinical experience, if I do say so myself. We're not perfect. We haven't figured everything out. But, we know a lot. And really, the only reason that my profession exists in such a hostile political climate is because more often than not, we get results. So I encourage people just to, take the plunge. Take Dr. Glidden's 90-day challenge. Do the 90 essential nutrients every day for 90 days and see how it makes you feel. And in the meantime, bonus, benefit, support Dr. Janda's mission here to educate people and provide information, life-changing information to everybody who has ears to hear.
And some people might think that when you say life-changing, that's an overstatement. It isn't. It really isn't. And I can just look at myself, Peter. As you know, I've had symptoms from bad arthritis for an extended period of time for years. And for an extended period of time, you told me, look, Dave, why don't you switch from the allopathic treatment that you were trained on, Dave, and focus more on the holistic naturopathic course. And I resisted. Well, that was a really bad decision because, and finally, it got to a point where I was on a pharmaceutical-grade anti-inflammatory, a over-the-counter anti-inflammatory, arthritis-strength Tylenol, and then they were talking about putting me on a second pharmaceutical-grade anti-inflammatory for my arthritic symptoms. And that's when, before I did that, I finally, Peter, and rock hard solid head, decided, maybe I'll listen to what Peter's been saying and I'll try this. And I did.
Well, you're not alone.
Well, and then within a month, Peter, within a month, I was off the pharmaceutical-grade anti-inflammatory, the over-the-counter anti-inflammatory, the arthritis-strength Tylenol, and frankly, my buddies, other allopathic MDs like myself, looked at me when I said, hey, look, I'm like asymptomatic. Yeah. And they were kind of like, what? What other anti-inflammatory did you go on?
It's remarkable.
No, I did the Healthy Body Start Pack.
Yeah,
now,
it's remarkable, man.
One of the things that's important to what we do through the site, Peter, is there's a lot of medical education and information on OperationFreedomHealth.com, and a lot of that I attribute to all your help and support on this. And one of the things that you now have taken the time, if folks do purchase product on OperationFreedomHealth.com, it's not like a one and done kind of thing. You do a webinar every other week of folks that purchase product on OperationFreedomHealth.com. Last week's was a huge success. This week coming up, I believe you're holding a webinar on the importance of the removal of the 12 bad foods that you've outlined.
Yeah, in order to facilitate continuing education here, right? Because it's important. And as you said, this is not a one and done thing. We're not just selling nutritional supplements, for goodness sakes. We're actually trying to educate people and to help people enter into the undiscovered country of, healing, right? So one of the things that we're doing is providing continuing education for free, by the way, to people who have purchased the nutritional supplements about things that they can do, things that they need to know in order to get as much bang for their buck as is humanly possible, because insurance doesn't pay for this.
No.
That's a whole nother conversation, man.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
But
it's a
insurance doesn't pay for
sinister
that.
it's a sinister conversation.
It's a sinister conversation. So we want to help people. Now, number one, not go bankrupt to having to buy their nutritional supplements. And one of the ways to do that is to take the stuff that we recommend because it's really cost effective. But there are tricks. There's things that you need to know about how to take it and when to take it and what to do. So one of the things that we allude to here in our conversations is eliminating the food that's 12 bad foods, right? This is really important because ultimately it's not what you swallow, it's what you absorb.
That's key.
So, if you're taking this many nutrients, but you're only absorbing this many because your diet is messed up and you didn't even know your diet was messed up, it's kind of like we're swimming upstream. And you're going to get results, but they're going to be mediocre and they're probably not going to last. So what we're educating folks about next week with our free webinar series is the 12 bad foods, but more importantly, why we need to eliminate those in order to facilitate the action of the nutritional supplements. It's fascinating stuff. It's fun stuff, really enlightening stuff. And most of the time when people come away from this particular lecture, it's like they've had a number of aha moments.
And folks,
what do you mean, Dr. Glidden? Salt is good, right? Salt is good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, salt is good. So it's like that.
And folks get an email announcement about that.
Yeah, so this is important. We send emails out Tuesdays and Thursday, Tuesday through Thursday. We will send emails if you've purchased nutritional supplements through Operation Freedom Health. They come from the Dr. Janda Health team. So you want to look for emails in your inbox from Dr. Janda Health team Tuesday through Thursday. That's not spam. We're not asking you to purchase more supplements or donate or anything. We're just telling you how to gain access to this free information. So look in your inbox for the messages from emails from the Dr. Janda Health team and join us and educate yourself and lift yourself up into health, because as God is my witness, no kidding, your body's ability to fix itself is 1,000 times greater than anybody has led you to believe, and you need to be educated about how to optimize that.
And another way to that you really reach out to people with their continuing medical education is something I mentioned at the beginning of this, Peter, and that is your books. They are foundation of our medical library here in the Janda household. They should be the foundation of everyone's. Everybody is sick, and I know why, and Attempt to Cure with Holistic Medicine, both available on Amazon. Peter, I'd like to thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. You truly provide insight and information that I can tell you I was never exposed to, not just in medical school or residency, but throughout my medical career. And I value what you bring to the table to not just help myself, but to help as many people willing to listen and learn. And I thank you for that.
Well, right back at you, Dave. And remember what Benjamin Franklin said. We must all hang together, or most assuredly, we will hang alone. So I appreciate very much the camaraderie and the support.
Folks, thank you for joining us today as we end every segment. Now, you can join us at OperationFreedomHealth.com, a tremendous amount of information. Also, the products are available there. And if you do purchase through Operation Freedom Health, as we've discussed, you become have access to our webinar series that Peter hosts every other week, which is a webinar version that you dial into. And it's we've had huge positive feedback from that when Peter started that. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thank you for your time today.